Coolers, welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest as usual. We start with Gerard Pique, as it has been reported that Barcelona board criticized the veteran defender after the Inter Milan performance. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, bringing you guys some injury updates, as Barca fullback Hector Bellerin is reportedly targeting a return against Villarreal next week. We are going to be discussing on that as well. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you are just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona's 3-3 draw with Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions League is set to bring forth major repercussions, both from an economic and sporting perspective. Joan Laporta is already furious with coach Xavi Hernandez, who is actively looking for answers from his players regarding their recent calamity. According to Richard Reshman, Gerard Pique is one such player facing a lot of heat. The Barcelona defender was one of the worst performing players in Barcelona's draw with Inter Milan. He made the error that led to Nico Barrella's goal. He also had issues keeping track of Denzel Dumfries. His incompetence played a key role behind Barcelona's vulnerable defense that conceded thrice. In light of his dead rubbish performance, the Barcelona board expressed their concerns over Pique and his future at the club. During the AGM meeting last week, club president Joan Laporta had already singled him and Sergio Busquets out for refusing to reduce their salaries to help the club out. His subsequent poor performance against Inter Milan could now put serious question marks on his future. Gerard Pique's current deal at Barcelona at Camp Nou does not expire until 2024. However, it appears Barcelona will make an attempt to offload the veteran defender at the end of this current season. In fact, Pique has been linked with a move away from Camp Nou, even in the upcoming January transfer window. Atletico Madrid are one of the clubs interested in signing Pique after the turn of the year. However, the move could rely heavily on Barcelona's pursuit of a new defender, with the Catalans reportedly keen on the services of Inigo Martinez. In the meantime, Pique is likely to be dropped for Barcelona's upcoming game against Real Madrid thanks to a return of Jules Koundé. The Frenchman appeared to have made his recovery and is in contention to start in the season's first El Clasico. Gerard Pique has made a lot of headlines lately for the wrong reasons. Of course, his performance against Inter was terrible, and of course, any Barca faithful have the right to be annoyed with that kind of performance from a veteran like Gerard Pique. Of course, this report is claiming that the Barca board, Laporta and co are so mad about the way Pique played that game, and of course, this even makes his future more interesting, because Barcelona, for one, have been trying all way to get rid of Pique before his contract comes to an end. But when we start seeing performance like this, what do you expect? The board will be contemplating of selling him before the contract expires. Of course, we know that injuries have been a big problem for us this season, especially after the international break, and especially in defense. That's why Gerard Pique have been playing most games lately. About 4 games in a row, Gerard Pique have been starting because Araujo and Koundé have not been available. Christensen have not been available. Instead of Pique to make good use of the few game time that Xavi is giving him against Inter Milan, he just messed up everything. Like, everything was like, in fact, I don't know. The truth is, if Koundé and Araujo was in that game, there was no way Barca could have lost that game. So it's just terrible for us. You know, the injuries came at a very, very, very bad time. Very bad time. I don't know what happened. The international break came and just spoiled everything. So Gerard Pique's performance was highly criticized. He'd have every right to be criticized because he was just terrible at the night. Busquets himself, another veteran, had a very bad night. Like, I don't know, that game just speaks volumes that it is already high time Barca try to move these veterans. this should be their last season. I don't think Barca should ever keep any of these players next season. Like, there will be a joke of a club to me. So we just hope that, even though Pique's contract expires next year, it doesn't mean that he will leave next year. Pique himself just needs to understand that his time, his prime is past. It's over. I don't know why some of these players, I don't know why. But for Busquets, of course, his contract expires at the end of the season, so I think it is highly expected that Busquets will depart, with Barca currently looking at his replacement all over the place, but nothing has been found. Frankie de Jong have been there, being on the bench. I don't understand why Xavi will always start Frankie on the bench in important games, as if Frankie de Jong have not been playing big games before. So I think there's some favoritism. I understand why people always accuse Xavi of favoritism. You can't be, Frankie is there. You can't even just stick on all his big games is the same lineup. It makes no sense. And we're not even convincing in any big game that we play. And we play Bayern next. Are we sure we're even going to beat Bayern? That's the problem. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, Barcelona are expecting to have Hector Bellerin's services when they host Villarreal on Thursday, October 20, according to a report from Sport. The former Arsenal man is currently in the final stretch of his recovery. It must be remembered that Bellerin's last appearance for Barcelona dates back to September 17, when they played Elche at the Camp Nou. The right back made a 31-minute cameo and 10 days later was confirmed injured by the team. The Spanish international noticed some discomfort in his left leg during a regular training session, and the next day the team made the news official. Initial reports suggested that Bellerin would be sidelined for 3 or 4 weeks. Since sustaining the leg issue, Bellerin has gone to miss Barca's last 4 games: a 1-0 away win over Mallorca, 1-0 away defeat to Inter Milan, 1-0 home win over Celta Vigo, recent 3-3 draw against the Nerazzurri, Inter Milan. Add the upcoming El Clasico against Real Madrid to the list, as the right back is not going to be fit for the fixture. Once Barcelona are past that, they will hope to get his services when Villarreal pay them a visit next midweek. For now, the aforementioned home game has been marked as the possible return date, mostly because the right back has already started doing individual work. Furthermore, depending on the sporting requirements of the team, Bellerin will be assessed by the medical staff first before giving a green signal to Xavi and his coaching staff regarding the limitations of his time on the field. If everything goes per as planned, Bellerin could start the Villarreal clash, but if not, either Sergio Roberto or Jules Koundé could occupy the right back slot. The latter has recovered from his injury and is ready to return to action against Real Madrid this weekend. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.